Here's the podcast script. 3 women wanted to start a family in the Bay Area. Could they find a house to do it in? That's the question at the heart of today's story, and honestly, it's one of the more interesting home searches you'll hear about. Meet Lillian Whithouse, Anita Brown, and Treva Aubard. They describe themselves as a family unit. Lillian and Anita are engaged, and Treva is, as Lillian puts it, our partner and friend, collectively. The 3 of them have been living together for years, and they're not just looking for a place to crash. They're looking for a forever home, one big enough to raise a family in, together, as co-parents. Here's how it started. Back in 2018, Lillian and Anita returned to the San Francisco Bay Area after college in Pennsylvania. They knew they were headed toward a committed relationship, and they knew the Bay Area was going to be expensive. So they called up Treva, a friend of Anita's from high school in nearby Albany, California, thinking the 3 of them could pool their rent money and afford something decent. It worked. More than that, they discovered they were genuinely compatible, shared love of reading, weekly Dungeons and Dragons nights with friends, the whole picture. Treva became, over time, an essential part of their long-term future. So by last fall, the 3 women, Lillian and Anita both working in library science, Treva in nonprofit fundraising, were ready to buy. Their target area was Oakland and Berkeley. Their budget, with all 3 contributing and using inheritance money from Anita and Treva for a down payment, was about $1.4 million, including renovations. And here's something worth noting: the ownership would be split 1/3 apiece, regardless of who put in what up front. They agreed to put that in writing. Their real estate agent, Misha Lorraine of Golden Gate Sotheby's International Realty, said something that stood out: these 3 are unusually good at making decisions together. She described how they'd break down the decision-making, hand it off to each other, and always come back with a unified answer. No anarchy, despite what you might expect from 3 people trying to agree on a house. Now, the Bay Area market being what it is, notoriously tight, prices that ratchet upward fast, they had 3 options on the table. First, a big blue 4-bedroom, 2-bath house in Berkeley's Poets Corner neighborhood, nearly 2,000 square feet, with a backyard studio, a skylight, a huge picture window, and top walkability scores. The catch? The kitchen and bathrooms needed work, the foundation needed shoring up, and plumbing and wiring were likely issues too. Listed at just under $1.1 million. Second, a beautifully updated Craftsman from 1912 in Oakland's historic Temescal neighborhood. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, move-in ready with hardwood floors, a redesigned kitchen, rebuilt bathrooms, and a separate studio unit opening to a private backyard. At $995,000, it appeared deliberately underpriced, meaning a bidding war was almost certain. Third, a 1924 duplex in Berkeley, about 1,600 square feet split between 2 units. The women loved the location and the common spaces, but to make it work as a single-family home, they'd need to knock down a wall, which means permits, plus renovation costs on the larger unit. Still, Anita said the place changed our minds about fixer-uppers. 3 very different paths to the same goal: a home where 3 people can build a life, grow a family, and maybe host a few more Dungeons and Dragons nights along the way. That's the story. Now the question is, which one did they choose?